Ever wonder how Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French emperor, accidentally helped create modern Germany? It sounds crazy, right? But the story of their relationship during the early 1800s is one of conflict, humiliation, and ultimately unexpected transformation. Let's dive in. Back then, Germany wasn't a single country. It was a chaotic patchwork of hundreds of states loosely held together in the ancient Holy Roman Empire. When Napoleon came to power, he wasn't fighting a unified German nation. He was fighting a collection of rivals, and boy, did he fight them well. It all kicked off in 1805 with the War of the Third Coalition. At the legendary Battle of Austerlitz, Napoleon delivered a masterclass in military strategy, crushing the combined armies of Austria and Russia. This single battle was so decisive that it led to the end of the Holy Roman Empire, an institution that had lasted for 1,000 years. Just like that, it was gone. In its place, Napoleon created something new, the Confederation of the Rhine. This was essentially a group of Western and Southern German states bundled together as a puppet for France. Imagine your local rivals suddenly being forced to team up and work for your biggest competitor. That's what happened. The Austrian emperor, whose family had held the title for centuries, was forced to officially give it up. Now, where was Prussia in all this? Prussia, with its famously disciplined army, had foolishly decided to sit on the sidelines, thinking they could stay neutral. Big mistake. By 1806, they realized Napoleon was a threat they couldn't ignore and decided to challenge him. The result was a catastrophe for Prussia. In the twin battles of Jena and Auerstedt, Napoleon utterly annihilated the Prussian army. In a single day, the myth of Prussian military invincibility was shattered. Napoleon's forces then marched all the way to Berlin. The following year, after defeating the Russians at Friedland, the resulting treaties of Tilsit were a total humiliation for Prussia. They lost half their territory, had to pay massive sums to France, and were forced to accept French occupation. Prussia was reduced from a great European power to a second-rate state. You'd think that German states would have learned their lesson. But in 1809, Austria decided to try its luck again. Spurred on by Napoleon's struggles in Spain, they launched the War of the Fifth Coalition. And once again, Napoleon proved victorious, winning the incredibly bloody Battle of Wagram. French domination over the German lands seemed absolute. This period was a nightmare for many Germans. They faced heavy taxes, forced conscription into Napoleon's armies to fight his wars, and economic hardship from his continental system, which blocked trade with Britain. But here's the paradox. While bringing misery, French rule also brought modernization. Napoleon swept away ancient feudal laws and structures that had held the region back for centuries. He introduced his famous Napoleonic Code, which promoted legal equality, property rights, and religious toleration. He streamlined governments and made them more efficient. In a way, he was dragging the German states, kicking and screaming, into the modern era. But the most powerful and unintended consequence of Napoleon's rule was the birth of German nationalism. Seeing their ancient empire dissolved, their princes serving a foreign emperor, and their lands occupied by French troops created a powerful, shared sense of identity. For the first time, people from Bavaria, Saxony, and Prussia started thinking of themselves not just as subjects of their local duke or king, but as Germans. This newfound national spirit fueled the final push against Napoleon. In the War of Liberation from 1813 to 1815, German states like Prussia and Austria joined forces with Russia. Britain, and Sweden to finally defeat him. Even after Napoleon was gone, the world he had shattered could not be put back together in the old way. The Holy Roman Empire was history. The seeds of legal reform and efficient government had been planted. Most importantly, the idea of a unified German nation had taken root. It would still take another half-century and more conflict to achieve, but the path to the German Empire of 1871 began right here, in the fires of the Napoleonic Wars. So, ironically, the greatest enemy of the old German states ended up being the unlikely catalyst for a new, unified Germany. History is full of strange twists, isn't it? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next historical deep dive. See you in the next video.